predict Cabbage is going to win this pot simply because a two's already gone, so he's unlikely to make 3 2s.
4.
The problem is, of
5.
course, if Henning carries on his betting, John can't call.
Check.
3 overcards on the board to his pair of 2s. If he was going to bet, he should have done it there.
Well, he might get a chance
3.
to have a stab now.
Check.
A bet with outs from Henning. That's what it looks like.
10,000.
He's making a bluff at this, well, a semi-bluff at this pot now, using the best of 6 cards.
Cool.
And Cabbage peels one off.
He doesn't want to catch an ace now, John. If he does, he'll get himself into all sorts of trouble.
Diamonds.
Well, he's now
Check.
technically last
Check.
position.
20 cards over.
The deuces are going to be good. John's lost that one, and Henning has just picked up a nice pot with the pocket deuces.
Twos.
Oh, that was a really strange hand, wasn't it? You'd expect the pair of 2s to bet at the flop. They don't. You don't expect John Cabbage to call a bet with just an ace high, but he did. And the world is getting stranger and stranger.
Okay.
When I won the World Championship, we played for 4 days. And I think only 2 times it affected my decisions for 4 days. So it's not that much difference, but it's much more intensity in the game. And that's why poker players love it, because they love to play hands.
Action seat 4.
Raise to 8.
Raise to 8,000. 8,000. Pass. 8,000.
Strange call here from Victor.
6,000.
Yes, it is. I think he's been sick of sitting on the fence
Cool.
for too long.
4,000.
It looks like he's dragging everyone else in. It's only a small raise from Achilles. He's only doubled it up to 8,000.
Yeah, but with 4 players, this now makes it a big pot.
Yeah, 32,000 in the middle.
Anyways, C3. Anyways.
No, I said 4.
Sorry. King.
Well, it might have been a strange call by Victor, but he's managed to catch the best hand so far.
Check. Check.
Now, is he going to check his way into a 4-way pot?
Check.
Check. Check.
Why, that's foolhardy.
Well, the only scare
9.
card that can come
Action
really
7.
is going to be an ace, but the 9 has given a straight draw for the judge.
Check.
And a flush draw.
Check.
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 Yep, that as well.
That's 10,000.
He's now likely to get himself a caller.
Raise.
And there's 32,000 in the pot.
He's bet 10,000 and the judge is coming over the top of him. He's trying to put the pressure on.
Raise to 25.
Now how much do you like your 8 kicker with your king?
Why did he check the flop in a 4-way pot? Inexperience, I suspect.
Now he's called the 15,000. That was a bit of a small re-raise from the judge. Now it's curious to know whether he thinks his jack's in front. If he gives his opponent a 9, he might do. Now he's got a genuine hand he can show down, so they're both happy to check it down. Victor's going to be happy that his king is still good.
But in a 4-way pot, just with top pair and a moderate kicker, it doesn't justify checking into it. He's got lucky there again. He's got paid out handsomely. Darren Judges takes a huge step backwards.
Basically, if I'm short stacked, I was just looking at the first opportunity to double up and just get the money in. You know, depending if I can, in sort of late position, if I can, and just get the money in and hopefully double through, you know.
Pass. Actions with seat 1. Cool. 6,000 to seat
Now, this
3.
is a guy that was raising with any king earlier on. Now he's short stacked. He elects just to call.
It's probably the worst time to start calling with as well.
Pass.
Especially with the blinds 9,000.
3,000.
He
Cool. Any raise? No raise.
he could do with picking it up.
Well, a 10-high flop would do him.
You called it.
Just what the doctor ordered.
8
This could get
spades,
Darren Judges back in the
5
game.
hearts. Actions with seat 4.
12.
That's 12,000.
John's gone.
Pass.
Now, how does the judge want to play it?
12,000.
Well, does he think he's got a good hand
Raise.
or an invincible hand?
He's playing it strong.
Let's get those chips chucked in very quickly.
Raise to 40 total. 28. Pass.
Well, Achilles has made a good lay down there with the top pair. Didn't fancy his kicker much, and the judge picks that one up.
Yeah, I think maybe the flat call kind of threw him out a bit. I think he may have suspected he was taking something quite sizable, like a pair of jacks, queens, kings.
Actions with seat 6.
Pass.
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 15.
The 2004 World Speed
Pass.
Champion. Raises it up on the button. That's Henning Grenstad. He's got King 10.
Nine to call.
And John Cabarge with
Pass.
10 deuce in the big blind isn't likely to oblige. Travelled here from Norway. A lot of good players in the Scandinavian countries. We've already lost one of them. That was Jan Hellender. He travelled here from Sweden.
Actions with seat 3.
Action with Henning. He says no
Pass.
thank you.
15.
And it's Mr. King Jack
Raise to
himself,
15.
Achilles Kalakis, with
Seen-
King.
Seen no shortage of those, have we?
But Victor's in.
Yeah,
Cool.
suited ace. But I'll tell you
9,000
what,
to call.
if he makes a flush of hearts, I'll be amazed because
Cool.
we've already seen 4 other hearts out there, and 2 of them are in this guy's hand, Darren Judge's.
So this one's going to be a big pot already. 45,000 in the middle.
Queen. 3.
The ace-6 is
Ace.
out in front at the moment.
Bets with seat 6. Check.
As
Okay.
always, Victor lays the trap with a little check.
He's hitting some flops as well, isn't he?
Check. Check.
So he's raised before the flop. He hasn't had a pop on the flop, Achilles. He's took his
7
free card
clubs.
and a chance to catch a 10.
Action with seat 6. Check.
And yet again,
Victor's giving the
Kamara.
free card.
Yeah, indeed. And he's not got a
Check.
monstrous hand, has he?
Check.
A 10 on the end would teach him. But no,
5.
he's still out in front with his ace-6, and he
7,
probably
6.
thinks it's good now.
Check.
But there are 3 clubs out there, so he's
Check.
checked to call again.
Check.
Well, that was all friendly and nice, wasn't it? Check, check, check all the way down. And our Spanish friend there, well, one of these days he's going to get burnt for a lot of money with his little check, check antics. It's a great move. We saw it earlier on with John Cabarge with his ace-king on an ace-8-8 flop, but you do that when you've got a monstrous hand. That was a monstrous hand, 2-pair with a king kicker, an ace-6 on an ace-high flop with so many spades and clubs out there.
3 and 6.
Average chips at the moment is 120,000. That's because we've lost a player, and each of them started with 100. 3 of our players sitting above that. The man at the bottom, Achilles
Action with seat
Kalakis,
6.
is actually under quite a bit of pressure right now with only 40,000 in chips. He's got 3,000 in this pot already. Looks like he's counting to see just how
Cool.
bad it is.
6,000 to call.
Pass.
Pass.
Cool.
Pass. Cool.
Yep.
Any raise? No raise.
So this one's going to go 3-handed.
That's interesting. John Cabarge with an ace-8 suited elected not to raise on the big blind.
Ace of spades.
But
3 of
now he's at an
hearts,
ace. No one's going to
6 of
suspect
clubs.
he's got it.
Check. Check.
He's giving a little free card. Letting
Check.
someone play catch-up. Kings, jacks and 4s would enable his
10 of
opponents to
diamonds.
actually catch some of it.
Check.
There's a gut shot now for Victor there in seat 6. A queen would make him the straight,
Bets 8,000.
but the cabbage leaf says enough free
9.
cards. I now need to bet this.
I've disguised my hand enough by not leading out with the ace. I'll bet the 8,000. See if I can pick up a customer.
Cool.
Wow, what do you make of that?
Well, he probably thinks that if John does have a 10, he can catch his jack or king. If he does, he'll just get himself into all sorts of trouble. The only card he can catch is a queen.
9 of clubs.
That 9's
Actions
no
with
good.
seat 5.
Now, John Cabarge has got no idea where he stands now. I've bet this thing and I've got a caller. What have you got?
22,000.
Well, he wasn't afraid. He still bet 22,000.
Well, you called this before. Sometimes you just bet on the end to find out, to stop someone betting and you having to call.
Pass.
I think he's hoping for a caller. If he was hoping for a call, I think he should have bet a little bit less. I don't think anyone with a 10 is going to call 22,000. But John picks that pot up. It's up to 154,000. Victor Kamara drops back to 142. But those three still looking pretty good at the top. The judge on 107. And the story at the moment is Achilles Kalakis down at 34,000.
He needs to get into gear very
Actions
quickly
with
now.
seat 1.
Oh, he's on the button.
Pass.
If it's passed around to him, regardless of his 2 cards, some people say he should raise.
Raise to 17.
Well,
17 to
this
call.
looks like a pretty good spot for Achilles.
Well, he's so short stacked, he should really shove it in here, pick up the 2 blinds, take on his opponent.
Well, it's already been erased from Henning, so...
Exactly, so he should really stick his small stack in now.
It's gone all in.
He does so.
he's likely to get a caller from Henning now. He's already put
34.
17,000. It's only going to be
Pass.
17,000 more to him.
Pass.
So not only is he going to get the 9,000 from the blinds, he's going to double up if he can
Yeah.
just get through Henning's ace-9.
Well, he's
Cool.
drawing to 2 9s because we've seen one passed. So the ace-king is in very, very good shape here.
10.
Well, it's
6,
even better for him now.
4.
He's got the flush draw. So not only can Henning catch a 9, he's then got to dodge a spade not coming on the end. But now it's just...
No, it wasn't. It's the bottom. This is the bottom.
This is the next one.
Well, it's all over. It's a nut flush for Achilles Kalakis. There was a hand that could have beat him. It would have been a straight flush, but that would have been particularly unlucky.
Yeah.